What would your answer be, Catherine, if in the first or second session they ask, well, what should we do when at home, when we realize we are trapped in a negative cycle?
Yeah, at home. Yeah, so I normalize that and I said that's to be expected. The change in EFT, the change happens in session before it happens outside of session. And I want my clients to know that because, as we were just saying, I'm catching those moments to amplify. I'm catching those moments to amplify, to distill, to revise. At home, there's no caring outsider there to catch the moment. Mm-hmm. And so in stage one, when this happens at home, I have two kind of homework for, especially for people who ask for homework. And in general, we're not a model that relies on homework, again, because we want the change to happen in session, and then it will start generalizing to home. So stage one, my questions are, when you catch yourself in the dance, in the negative pattern, you see, feel, hear yourself do what behaviors? I stomp up the stairs, I get in the car, I slam the door, and I'm out of here. Whatever the behaviors are, and you feel what on the inside while you're doing that behavior. Make a note to yourself, text it to yourself, bring it into the next session, because I'll try my best to start a stage one session with, how was it when the dance came alive? How was it recently between last session and now? How was it when you got caught in the negative pattern of interaction? Because I want to tango move one a little bit, because the more they can tell me about their inner world, I have the ready data for tango move 2 to start assemble that emotion. If we go back to the steps of EFT, I've got step 2, identify the negative pattern of interaction. The easiest way to do that is by each partner's behavior. And then I want to add in step 3, the underlying emotion that fuels my behavior. And so whether we're talking steps or tango, doesn't matter to me, they're both relevant. And we want the client to start pushing their focus inward. That's the deal. That's the shift, is instead of blaming my partner or looking outside for what's they're not doing very well or not doing enough of, or they're doing too much of, I have to actually push my focus inward, which is what you're helping them do in session, to notice their sensations, to notice their behaviors, and if they can start making contact with a feeling or naming the feeling, that will start giving them some organization around those kind of worst moments.
So the first thing you said is that when people are asking about what to do outside of session, the first thing you'll do is help them to understand that you as a therapist expect the change to happen in session first. And so it takes a minute for it to generalize to outside of session, and that's okay and that's expected.
It takes some weeks. We're building momentum, and depending on how much they let you work with them in session, experientially in session, the sooner it will start generalizing at home.
Okay.
Because when we go close, and the client lets us come close in that conversation, the client is getting all kinds of intrapsychic order and coherence and organization. And then when my inner world is less chaotic and more organized, then it's easier and safer for me to reference it at home in my worst moment. In the writing of it, they have to distill it. They have to be able to find words to describe. My behavior was, and I felt, simple. 2 words, behavior and feeling, behavior and sensation.
Yeah.
So noting it to ourselves is great. And that's something, but if they could just write it down, text it, make a note of it, it requires, especially for adult learners, it requires that added piece of distillation to find the word that describes my experience.
Okay. Maybe not just reflect, but even write it down.
That's a great distinction. Maybe not just reflect, but reflect and write if possible.